Hey there, friends. I'm so excited to tell you about the coolest duo ever. Their names are Whiskers and Squeaky. Whiskers is this amazing cat. He's super smart and sleek. His fur is soft and shiny. He walks with such grace, like a little model on a catwalk. Now, Squeaky is totally different. He's a tiny rat with a big personality. He's always getting into trouble. But you know what? He has the biggest heart. Squeaky is the kind of friend who'd give you his last piece of cheese. That's how sweet he is. You might think a cat and a rat can't be friends, but Whiskers and Squeaky prove that wrong. They're the best of buddies. They play together, explore together, and even nap together. It's the cutest thing ever. These two show us that friendship has no boundaries. It doesn't matter if you're big or small, furry or not. What matters is the love in your heart. And these two have plenty of that to share with each other and the world. One sunny morning, Whiskers and Squeaky were hanging out in the barn. Squeaky found a big piece of cheese. His little eyes lit up with joy. He couldn't wait to share it with Whiskers. But then, a playful idea popped into his head. Squeaky decided to make a game out of it. He waved the cheese in front of Whiskers.
Catch me if you can.
And off he went, scurrying as fast as his little legs could carry him. Whiskers, always up for a good chase, sprang into action. Around and around the barn they went. Squeaky ducked under hay bales. Whiskers leaped over buckets. They were having so much fun. Their laughter echoed through the barn. It was a game of cat and mouse, but with a twist of friendship. Finally, Squeaky stopped running. He was out of breath, but still giggling. He broke the cheese in half and offered some to Whiskers. They sat together, munching on their treat. It was the perfect start to their day of adventure. Little did they know what was waiting for them outside. After their cheesy chase, Whiskers and Squeaky decided to explore. They left the cozy barn behind. The world outside was big and exciting. Squeaky rode on Whiskers' back as they set off. It was their favorite way to travel together. They passed through the sleepy village. People smiled as they saw the odd pair. A cat and a rat, best friends, who would have thought? They waved at Mrs. Baker in her shop. They meowed and squeaked hello to Mr. Smith, the postman. Everyone loved seeing these two together. As they reached the edge of the village, they saw the orchard. It was full of apple trees. The trees were heavy with ripe red apples. It looked like a wonderland of fruit. Whiskers and Squeaky couldn't wait to explore it. They entered the orchard feeling excited. The grass was soft under Whiskers' paws. Squeaky's whiskers twitched as he smelled the sweet apples. But then they noticed something strange. There was a problem in the orchard and it needed their help. Section 4. The Scarecrow's Dilemma. In the middle of the orchard stood a scarecrow. But this wasn't just any scarecrow. It was Farmer Brown's special scarecrow. He had made it with love and care. It kept the birds away from his precious apples. But today, something was wrong. The scarecrow was leaning to one side. Its straw-stuffed arms were drooping. The hat on its head was about to fall off. Poor scarecrow. It looked so sad and tired. Whiskers and Squeaky knew they had to help. They couldn't let Farmer Brown's hard work go to waste. They circled the scarecrow, thinking hard. How could a cat and a rat fix such a big problem? Whiskers used his clever mind. Squeaky used his quick thinking. Together, they came up with a plan. It would take teamwork, but they were ready for the challenge. Whiskers looked at Squeaky with determination. Squeaky nodded back, his eyes full of courage. They were about to become unlikely heroes. The scarecrow needed them, and they weren't going to let it down. It was time to put their plan into action. Section 5. Teamwork makes the dream work. Whiskers and Squeaky sprang into action. Whiskers used his strong paws to push the scarecrow upright. Squeaky climbed up to fix the hat. They worked together like a well-oiled machine. Nothing could stop this dynamic duo. Squeaky gathered fallen straw from the ground. He passed it to Whiskers piece by piece. Whiskers carefully stuffed it back into the scarecrow's shirt. They patched up holes and straightened the clothes. The scarecrow was starting to look much better. As they worked, they chatted and laughed. They told jokes and shared stories. Even though the task was hard, they made it fun. That's what true friends do. They turn work into play and challenges into adventures. Finally, after lots of effort, they stepped back. The scarecrow stood tall and proud once more. Its smile seemed brighter, its pose more confident. Whiskers and Squeaky high-fived or high-pawed each other. They had done it! Their teamwork had saved the day. Section 6. a friendship to remember. Just then, Farmer Brown arrived at the orchard. His eyes widened in surprise. He saw his scarecrow looking better than ever, and at its feet sat a cat and a rat, looking quite pleased with themselves. Farmer Brown's heart filled with gratitude.
You two are amazing.
He said with a smile. He gave them each a shiny red apple as a thank you gift. Whiskers and Squeaky beamed with pride. They had made a difference, and it felt wonderful. As the sun began to set, Whiskers and Squeaky headed home. They munched on their apples, feeling happy and tired. Their adventure had brought them even closer. They had learned that together they could overcome any challenge. Back in the barn, they curled up for a well-deserved nap. Whiskers wrapped his tail around Squeaky protectively. Squeaky snuggled close to his feline friend. As they drifted off to sleep, they dreamed of their next adventure. Because, with a friend by your side, every day is an adventure waiting to happen.